Onto West Africa now, where aviation sector unions have effectively shut down Arik Air. It's the largest carrier in Nigeria, pretty much all of West Africa as well. The unions had threatened to shut down the airline following Arik's management's failure to reinstate sacked members. Now, with regards to the airline itself, you'll recall on the 9th of February, the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria had taken it over as a result of the airline's high debts, which it wasn't able to service at the time. AMCON thereafter appointed a receiver manager to run things. The new management, however, shortly thereafter was accused by union officials of being intolerant to organised labour. It was alleged that the new management, through a recent circular, warned workers not to join the unions in the industry, and it had refused to address all the pending issues affecting workers. Staff at the airline shut down its operations, and the entrance of the airline's office at the Lagos airport, in fact, was also barricaded. Let's get a feel for what exactly is going on up there. Deji Badus joins us now live from Lagos. Deji, this is definitely not the first time Arik management and unions have clashed pretty vehemently. Does the current dispute, however, have anything to do with a similar shutdown of the carrier last year in December by the unions?
Rama, largely yes. I mean, it has to do with what we saw last December. The unions are still insisting that Arik Air is heavily indebted to the aviation agencies in this country. Agencies like the Federal Airports Authority, the Civil Aviation Authority, that's NCAA, and other agencies in the other agencies now in the aviation sector. Now, the unions are saying because these agencies are being owed by Arik, that these agencies are finding it difficult to pay their workers, who are their members, of course. And as you know, also, there's the issue about unionism in Arik, and the unions are saying the management of Arik is doing everything to prevent the workers there from joining the unions to become unionized. And then the issue of some union members who were sacked by the previous management of Arik, of course, that the one them reinstated. So basically the same thing, you know, similar issues as we saw in December last year, Rama.
Indeed. We'll hold on to that for just a moment, Deji. I want to cut to a developing story, rather. There's a vigil, of course, taking place in London in memory of the 5 people who, of course, died in a terror attack yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Home Secretary, the Right Honourable Amber Rudd MP.
I'd like to start by saying thank you and paying tribute to the officer that lost his life, Keith Palmer. I know we will all be thinking about his friends and his family. He was courageous, he was brave, and he was also doing his duty. And he is not alone in doing that. I know that all officers of the Met are like that. In my experience, so are all policemen. And I want us to say thank you to them all for their great sacrifice and risks that they take to keep us safe. They and the emergency services. And yesterday, we also saw a Member of Parliament leaping in, trying to help this police officer. It reminded us all how we are all so connected, particularly when the random victims on the bridge of different nationalities, tourists going about their business, were also mowed down in a terrible way. But they will not win. We are all connected. And today we showed that by coming together, by going to work, by getting about our normal business, because the terrorists will not defeat us. We will defeat them. We are strong in our values and proud of our country. Thank you.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan.
We come together as Londoners tonight to remember those who have lost their lives and all those affected by the horrific attack yesterday, but also to send a clear message. Londoners will never be cowed by terrorism. Those evil and twisted individuals who try to destroy our shared way of life will never succeed, and we condemn them. Our hearts are with the family and friends of PC Keith Palmer, of Aisha Friday, Kurt Cochrane,
I will, thank you.
and all those injured in the attack yesterday. The victims, the victims were people who came from all corners of our world. And this is a time to express our gratitude to the heroism of our police officers and emergency services who ran towards danger to help and to, at the same time, they encourage others to run for safety. London is a great city, full of amazing people from all backgrounds. And when Londoners face adversity, we always pull together. We stand up for our values, and we show the world we are the greatest city in the world. Our response to this attack on our city, to this attack on our way of life, to this attack on our shared values, shows the world what it means to be a Londoner. Thank you.
Also, Kurt Cochrane, the American, who was here on holidays with his wife.
Ladies and
She
gentlemen,
was also injured and she remained.
there will now be a minute's silence.
Minute silence.
Do you want another drink? Can you see me?
As that proceeds, we'll take Boris Johnson.
Battery went down. But we found some spares.
Just one of the leaders here who's spoken of those sentiments today.
That concludes the minute's silence. Thank you.
Here, come off
We're
them.
good, we're good, we're good.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Britons may be shocked and saddened, but these crowds, they say, are proof of solidarity and that a nation that's been through bombings, even the Blitz, will prevail again.
Of course, what you're seeing on your screens now, of course, is a live footage of a vigil, of course, in London in memory of those who were killed in a terror attack over there. We've just listened to the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, saying Londoners will not be cowed, and also before him, the Home Secretary Amber Rudd, also talking about the events that did take place. Quick summary of what we know so far. The attack was a 52-year-old British-born national, Khalid Masood. The so-called Islamic State has claimed responsibility for that particular attack, but haven't provided definitive evidence of their involvement in it. We do know that at some point in the past, Khalid Masood was under MI5 surveillance, but that, of course, was for another case altogether. We'll, of course, bring you up to speed with all the latest developments with events in London as we get them.
Londoners and visitors to London.
Now let's get back to our original story that we're covering just before we cut over to events in London. Pretty aggressive actions by unions in Nigeria, specifically with regard to Arik Air. They shut down operations in that particular airline today. I'm now joined yet again by Deji Badmus live from Lagos. Deji, just before, of course, we cut over to London, I understand some of these unions want their sacked members to be reinstated, but let's face it, how is that supposed to happen when the carrier simply isn't making any money? With what cash are these reinstated employees supposed to be paid?
Well, that's a very wonderful question, Brahma, and it's one that is actually very difficult to understand, and people have actually said, to answer now, I should say, people have actually said that the unions should show some kind of understanding here, and that's what the management of Arik is actually asking of the unions. But the unions themselves, based on what they said today, say they are ready to show that understanding, that what they actually want is to engage the management of Arik now in a concrete talk, but that unfortunately that has not happened. But then you're quite right. A lot of people have been saying, look, it will be difficult for the management of the union, to do what the unions are asking when you consider the fact that Arik Air is in huge debt as we speak.
Indeed, we'll have to leave it there for the time being. Thank you for the update. That's Deji Badmus, of course, live in Lagos. He'll keep us updated on developments in Nigeria's aviation sector.